Turn that volume down there. Yeah, there we go.
Let me sure I'm coming through.
Yeah, there we go. Let me sure I'm coming. Yeah, I hear my voice.
I heard your voice too for a brief second.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to tell the folks on Discord that I'm streaming something. Stream.dw4. Yes, I got it right first time. Command is there. It's logical how it works, and somehow I get it wrong 50% of the time.
All right, so this will be interesting since I only tested the build once.
Actually, we tested it 0 times because...
Yeah, right. I didn't test it on your map with your script. And for all I know, the click handler for the Raster's play gets in front of the game. Who knows?
Boy.
We'll see.
Okay. Well, let's go. So let's sort of summarize to the good folks that's going to watch this where we are.
Yeah, so you're going to see a number of changes in this build before you even get to the pollution and raster stuff. You're going to see a new mortar. That's in this build.
New command unit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Since the last time you streamed on YouTube, I guess. Yeah, the cannon's new, the riff lab's new, and the mortar model is new. I'm just going through them one at a time, tweaking them and moving forward. Gosh, I'd have to go look at GitHub to see what all the other changes are. But you can just talk about your pollution stuff.
Well, what we've changed some models. You've brought the energy model back to a more to a less punishing version.
Right. It's the same as in the demo with one change. There is a potential 20% drop off based on distance from the lab. So that's not much. It's minor, and it's reflected in the color of the soilant, the green area. You'll see a darker shade the further you get from the riff lab, but it's only a maximum 20% drop off. So it's a minor consideration, but it's still a potential consideration for a high performance player. For a casual player, you really don't have to worry too much about it. That's it. The progressive build costs are gone. The build limits are gone. All those other experimental things ended up just not liking them.
So, and as for myself, what I've been doing is I wrote some custom 4RPL code to make a custom unit that would create other units. So it's like a workshop that creates things. But I thought that could be abused, and I wanted to invent a way to not have people just make 500 urns, for instance. So I figured that it could make pollution. And so what happens is as it runs, it adds tiny little bits of pollution. That's actually a very big change that you made, is to make the global list, the shareable list.
Right. There's been a number of internal changes and extra features in Forpal, the scripting language, just to make it a little user friendlier. There's, the Forpal has maps, whereas other versions didn't, and there's of course list and an improved syntax for that. But there's a global list that you can use, and some convenience routines for like converting 2 coordinates into 1, so you can use a single dimensional list to represent a 2-dimensional map structure. And just there's a FC command, flattened coordinate, and a UFC command, unflattened coordinate. It just does the addition and multiplication based on the map width for you. Grabs asks if the soilant energy drop-off's also gone. No, that is there, but it is reduced. So you can build the biggest serpentine path you can imagine, and the tower on the end of that path will be at 80% maximum efficiency. So it's a 100% to 80% range. And it's over a 1 over 1 plus x type drop-off, though, with a grace area. So there is, I think, a range of 15 or 16 around the lab where everything's 100%, and then it's a 1 over 1 plus x drop-off down to 80%.
No, I'm
So
already. Oh, look here. Where did you put the little guy? You moved him.
yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
I was looking
Yeah.
in the corner, but I couldn't see him. So
Right. Yeah.
this here is a raster. You want to talk about the raster?
Yeah. So it's I primarily put it in there because I said it'd be a neat way to debug when you're writing in RPL. So it's a raster display, which just is just to say it's a texture. It's an image. It defaults to the pixel width and height based on the map size. So however big the map is, that's how big the texture will be. And there's RPL commands to clear it as with a color, to set pixels and of any color. And there's also a blit command, so you could have defined an image or a sprite and stored it in a list, and then you can just blit that list. And it's very efficient the way it operates. I mean, you can do thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of updates. And the inefficiency is how efficient your RPL is. It more so than the pixel update and pushing that to the GPU. So explain what you're showing here.
Okay. Well, what I'm doing is I'm running a script that it just pretends there's pollution on the map, and what it does, it checks the terrain height, and the higher the terrain is, the more pollution there is. And then it has a monitor that it writes to this raster the density of the pollution on every cell of the map. So ideally, if I get this right, excuse me, then there should be a rough correspondence to the red here and the terrain heights that you see.
Mm-hmm. So pollution is spawning randomly on the map, but it accumulates quicker in areas with higher terrain.
Mm-hmm.
And the raster display is showing a shade of red based on how thick the pollution is in that area. So
speed it up a little bit. There we go.
Right. Since it's worse on the higher the terrain, it's redder. There's more pollution on the higher areas. Now, eventually, the valleys will fill in too.
We decided actually we should do that change where we cut off and maybe not pollute below level 10.
Right, you could do a cutoff that way. There's that. Otherwise, this will eventually reach a.
This looks pretty awesome, right? Look at that.
Yeah, you know, your
there we go. We're having pollution, raindrops.
Right, so when the pollution hits a peak value, then it condenses, forms an orb, and drops that on the map, which releases Creeper. So it's like a cloud.
Yeah, and I have a little thing here to monitor the pollution. I was going to put this on a little unit maybe at some point in time, but for now,
right, yeah.
I know that out of the 10,000 cells, about 6,700 cells have been polluted.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that there's already cells at 0.9, and overall, very low, 9% of the map is polluted.
Mm-hmm.
But already it's raining.
Now, for those who aren't familiar, what you're showing in the bottom right corner is the console. You can you have a list of scripts, and they can run independent of the map or a unit. So you can just have these, and you just have them on a directory on disk. So you can bring up the console on any map and run these scripts. You can run it once or have it run continuously, and you can have multiple scripts running in the background. So that's what you did with your monitor pollution scripts.
Yes, exactly.
You just ran it once and then saw its output over on the right.
Okay, and while we're showing off things, I can show my workshop that will create urns, but it's going to be very sad, so I'm going to first clear the pollution. Now, if I clear the pollution, actually I should edit this script.
To clear the raster?
Yeah. Clear the raster as well. So let me see if I get this right. I have OBS. Bring up Notepad. Can you see?
I see your clear pollution script.
You're right. So now I just need the clear raster. Can you remember what it is? Or
it's just clear raster and then the color. Don't do it in the do loop. You just need to do it once.
Oh, outside. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's always fine. It'd just be a lot of clears. Performance test. And then you're going to want to clear to black. So a vector 4 0001. Red 0, green.
Oh, sorry, spaces.
Yeah, spaces. Yeah, just 4 numbers. Red, green, and blue of 0, and an alpha of 1. You don't want it transparent.
Okay.
And close parentheses. You need to close
two parentheses.
And another one, yeah. One for clear raster and one for V4. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that'll do it.
I'll switch back to DW4. Hide the notepad.
Yeah, that's a change in this build. Somebody asked if you could defend against pollution drop shields. We'll defend against them. They'll bounce off shields now.
No, this is my pollution, and I have not made it defendable.
Yeah.
You should emphasize to everybody that watches, this is not official stuff.
Right. This is not a core game mechanic. It's a custom game mechanic.
So asking if there's a way to defend against it is irrelevant. If I want one, I'll write one.
That's true. And you can make your orbs so that they don't bounce off shields. There's a parameter for that when I added that.
Oh, look, it worked. I cleared the raster.
Yep.
So while we're doing great things, let's fix up the script for pollution. Let me also delete all the creeper on the terrain. Okay, that now everybody is safe here, right?
Yeah.
And in the CPAC, I'm going to edit the height pollution script. And I'm bringing that back. I think the quickest way to do is to just, if the height is less than, just skip, right?
Treat it as void. You could do that. You know how you have your if height equals 0, then do void pollution. You could just say if height 5 LT or whatever. Just pick some number and then do an LT instead of a EQ 0.
Less than or equal to 5, right?
Yeah, put the 5 before.
Okay.
There's not a.
I was like less than 0.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I only have them through 0. the convenience ones.
Yeah,
I've come real close to adding ones, but
okay.
EQ 1 stuff like that.
Okay.
But I'll never make it to EQ 5.
Well, you could make it up to 25, maybe.
Yeah.
Or 36.
So all right. So less than or equal to 5, it won't pollute. So the valleys are safe from pollution.
Yes.
Not from creeper. That's where the creeper.
While I'm I want to make these things full right down. So the velocity, can I make this is the one that causes it, right? If I 0.0, then it falls straight down.
Do yourself a favor. Just comment out the line right now. Leave it as is so you can put it back later, and just comment it out and put a new one, because the new one's going to be a lot simpler than. You're not going to have any rand. Yeah, now just copy that line and paste it below it.
Why is it? There we go.
Actually,
I can just take it out.
Just take it out. You don't need any velocity on it at all. Exactly.
Okay. So now I'm going to compile this. For some reason,
28.
Right. Oh, you see the package menu. I was wondering why the weird black script was up. Question mark. Okay. Edit. On 28. If height 5 or less than equal. And oh, this. All of that stuff needs to go into this.
Yeah, I'll take it. We don't see it, so we'll take your word for it.
Oh, did I know? I'm sorry. What the heck? Okay, what happened is this. I commented out. When I commented the line out, I commented this out.
Oh, well, that went with it. Okay. Yeah, of course.
So I'm just putting it there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, compiling the scripts again. Everything compiled successfully.
Grab says he wonders if 10 years ago, I guess, when you were playing Creep World 1 on Congregate, if you figured 10 years hence you'd be writing code for a Creep World forum or a Creep World map. That's one of those things you can never predict.
No, not really. So now actually what I know I need to do is to save the map.
That's almost always the answer is almost always yes.
And now if I run it.
You saved and loaded, right?
Yes.
To make sure everything's clean. Okay. All right. You're all good and clean now.
Ramp it up a little bit. There we go. Some red appears. And we run my monitor again.
You almost, even though it's not what you would want to see, you almost need to pick a more visible color, like a green on a black, or make the background white and make the pollution black. That's something that's it's showing up though. It's coming through. It's just
so okay, I can make it white. I guess if that's going to be easier to see. I thought the red would be clear on the black, but
I mean it is. It just depends on how. I guess it depends on your eyes and your monitor.
I guess. Slowly appearing, it's sort of interesting.
Yeah. There, it's coming up there. Yeah. There should be areas where it never appears now.
It looks like there are areas that are completely dark.
Yeah, this is a good game mechanic, right? Because it's a deferred threat on high ground. Normally, high ground is the safest ground. These plateaus.
Oops! I should have cleared the. But I'm just going to run it to death anyway, so that.
Right, you're just looking to see that top left corner. What terrain height is that on the map? There's a little gray and a brown area. What terrain height?
Corner.
Yeah, so that's 6. Okay, because what terrain is actually below when you set the cutoff to 5, right? So areas like that. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that a good bit of that area you're at right now is below the cutoff.
You know what I can do is we can make a different map which have just actual levels of terrain.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, we're seeing. I mean, you could.
So the reason it pollutes over there is because that's at level 6.
Yeah. So you could go in and do what we did, just to speed it up. Put a loop around your whole pollution script. I guess.
I'm kind of happy with what it's showing at the moment. What it's showing there, it's showing distinct red.
Yeah.
You should answer Uber Waffle. I have no idea what he's asking. The yellow goddess, my pollution script just causes, after a while, it makes little raindrops to fall. Raindrops of creeper. And it's more likely to fall where this little raster display is red than where it's black. We're going to change that color. Maybe green. You think green would be nice and then go to red?
That might be interesting to. Yeah, I mean it's fine the way you have it. I mean once it's polluted, you see it, and red means bad usually. So by the time
it
actually
gets safe, green would mean really good.
Yeah.
But I wonder what the combination of green and red will do.
It's interesting. I'm seeing some of the other terrain levels start to pop in now based on their height.
Yeah.
They're just barely fading in, and you can see the black areas that are less than or equal to 5. So will it be possible to find new orbitals and attach a custom model to the incoming model and the script to its impact? So there's a few different things, I guess, in that question. There are orbitals as the game defines them, which are those super weapons that you call down. I don't have a facility right now to extend what that is, but we can talk about it because it's not outside the realm of possible. I'm sort of in a mode of hurry up and get the core game done, and before I settle into a okay, beta testers, come tell me everything you want from RPL, and the game could even be released before everything is in RPL, because anybody who's been around long enough knows that there's so much in RPL and so many things that people want to do that could drastically extend the game release if I don't kind of have a core set of stuff that I need to do the story and the core missions, and then settle into a 6-month or longer period where I extend RPL. So that would be orbitals as the game defines them. There's other ways to do things that drop from the sky, though, and it's just to create a custom unit way up on the y-axis and then move it down. And of course, those are that's already doable. They could be created very high up or very low down, or under the map or beside the map, and they are not constrained to the map bounds or a certain height for the position of a unit. Can particles collide with units? The orbs, they can. They will. It's a setting on them. They will hit and destroy units. I don't know what these are set to. And there's a whole ton of internal options, and I've exposed like 7 or 8 or 9 of them to RPL right now. They could bounce off shields, bounce off terrain, pop when still, be damped by the creeper, damage units when they hit. There's a bunch of options. I'll put it to you this way. Those orbs that you see and the little orbs that air sacs drag around are the same thing as the eggs. They're all the same thing, but controlled. The options are set different. So one acts like an egg and other ones act like these orbs. So, and they're all governed by the underlying particle engine, kind of like in a mini version of what was in Particle Fleet. They can be bound to each other as well, so they can have connections to each other, so you can form chains, and you can put those chains too close to each other so you can get weird effects, just like you did in Particle Fleet. So there's a bunch of neat stuff that will come out of that.
So while you were talking, I imported another CPAC with my workshop. Ugliest workshop you've ever seen, but did you implement the smoke thing?
Yeah, missed. I haven't updated the docs, so I can tell you what, you know me and updating the docs.
It's just 2 commands, I don't know why.
Yeah, I have to log into the server and then copy it and run
this is not good. There's a background pollution in this map too. I'm going to delete it.
Yeah, you probably don't want, yeah.
Does this global control applies to the workshop, the CPAC here? I really need to delete this, right?
Right, you don't need anything in the workshop. So your workshop, well, what do you want your workshop to do? You want it to be the polluter?
It's going to also make some more pollution.
Okay. So
I think it just randomly pollutes, if I remember correctly.
You just need the one script on him then.
So he uses, by the way, I was going to ask you about this. He never fills up with ammo. He uses it so fast. And bolt rate of 0.1. So he checks if he's bolt. He checks if he's bolt over here. And then he's writes some text to the control, the UIs for him. And then he starts chewing ammo. And if he has ammo, he constructs. The moment, only thing I can do with him is make urns. And then he pollutes like mad. And he's also going to cause rain if he finds pollution. So now to put smoke in his smokestack, how do I do that?
Let's take a look here. It's going to be...
Okay, the unit itself is over here. Oh, people, I need to close this.
And you may want to add, if this guy's making pollution, you may want to add raster commands to him or not, just depending on what you want. And you could even use a different color so you can see the pollution.
Yes. Let's use, we're going to use...
use something contrasting with red, like green or something.
Yes, yes. Say yellow, but green.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
No,
yeah,
no,
it works
green,
too.
green is good. But you wouldn't know because I guess I can just, wherever he puts some pollution. I'll turn off the other script.
All right, on Discord, I'm going to send you... Actually, I will do this in the...
Do you want me to send you the script and then you can...
It's all right, I'm just going to send you the code block. I'm going to do it in the stream chat so everybody can see what... I got to get my comments out.
Good. You can now use other things. I think Knucklecracker has made you can use more than the voxel. You can use Blender and all the sort of low-powered, low-poly model makers.
You can use anything that exports an OBJ or an FBX if somebody's asking about models.
And you can make it any size. I mean, it's just some things are not crazy big on the map. I mean, this guy, if we look at this guy, where did I set the scale for him?
That's an example of how to create a mist. I just posted it to the stream chat on Discord. It's very similar. Yeah, everybody can see what I just sent you. It's on stream-chat. It's very similar to how you create an orb, just with different options. And what's there will, that specific example will probably looks like it will, it's about a 2 seconds direction in the Y. It's going to create a smokestack. You can just pop that right in there and it'll make a smokestack. Then you can tweak the colors if you'd like.
I'm going to just put this anywhere.
You probably want it once per frame ish. So yeah.
Trying to rearrange my windows so I can see what.
Oh yeah, hold on a second. I copied this out of the HTML syntax because Grab's saying I've got any less than, yeah, that init data.
Yes, I got this. You can animate them. Have you played the demo? You saw those little things that walked around on the one mission, exploding an anti-creeper. Those are custom units as well. And you might have noticed they walk. It's a little complicated, but yes, it can be animated. You can make things swivel and that sort of thing. Did you upload new code?
I just made a single byte change to it. It's the curly brace. It should have been turned into a less than. It has to be that way because that's how it is in my code comment docs. It can't tolerate a less than in the C# comments.
I have it. And now in the, I guess where am I quizzing the pollution? Actually, I thought I said pollute to tell. Pollute. So this is, yeah, so, and there I get the cell and I make it flat. Terrain. The wrong code. Why am I copying? keep copying this stuff?
Okay, you got it now. That's it. That's missed.
To just align it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now the create mist call. You see that vector 3, the first argument to create mist on line 52. That's the coordinate. So that needs to be somewhere relative to your unit.
The V3, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, those are the X, Y, Z coordinates to create this mist at. It's going to move up in a kind of a cone shaped from there, but that's where it creates that.
Isn't it self-cell? OBJ self? Unit.
Oh, you want to know your coordinates? That's the
get unit cell.
Yeah, get unit cell. It'll give you the X and the Z. Now, hold on a second. There's going to be a get unit position. That's what you're really going to want, right? There's cells and there's positions. The position is going to return a vector, and it's going to give you the X, Y, and Z, not just the flattened. So get unit position will give you a vector.
Okay, get unit. I don't used to need to use a V3, yeah?
You will not. That's right. Just get unit position is a vector.
So use get unit position self.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you just do that, it's going to return the pivot point for the unit, which is usually the bottom center.
Yes, I was just thinking about that. So
you're going to want to add another vector to it to move it up on the y-axis, which is fine. You can just
yeah, but I'm gonna take the thing out so that
you can put it in line, because what you're really going to want to do is define a vector. You don't want to have to keep creating. I mean, you can, but it's more efficient if you just create the vector and remember it, as opposed to reconstructing the vector every time.
Okay, yeah. Look, I have it here already. I can just get.
Well, it's fine to keep calling get unit position, because you might move it around in the editor. So that's fine. What you really need to do is define a vector that points upwards in the y axis.
That was what I was going to do. I was going to get it, yeah, and then just add to the y position.
You can do that. I'm just saying that calling get unit position means that you won't be able to move this around after the script is run once. It's all. The most flexible thing you could do is just to create a constant vector. You're just going to declare like v3 0 4 0 and store that as missed offset. So that only ever has to be created once. So like v3 and then parentheses and say 0 4 0. I don't know how tall your unit is.
I think it's 4.
We could actually get that, but this is fine. And I'll store that as some variable name, like missed creation offset.
Chimney.
Okay, so this is the offset from your unit's pivot that you're going to create the mist. That's what chimney means.
Yeah, and
so now
you don't like to me where I put this thing, so I need to move it.
I mean, it's fine. You don't. I mean, it's just.
I know why you say that, and you're probably right. So there you go.
It's more efficient to do it once, but it's more flexible to do it each time.
Yes.
It handles the case if the unit gets moved.
Yeah.
So now go back down to where you're creating the mist. Way back down. So it's on line 55. And get rid of that V3 parentheses. Inside this is create mist, and you've got V3. You don't need the vector 3 in there. You leave the first parentheses. Okay.
That's
It's
good.
funny. Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna. Yeah. You need that. Well, you still want your get unit position, and you're gonna add to it chimney. Yeah. And just after chimney, put a plus sign.
Already there. Now I just need to check my brackets. And this 10, I think, is now superfluous. I think that came from your code.
I think it did, because create mist is just it is a position and then an initialization data. Yeah. The init data contains all the options. Now, of course, we'll worry about this later. The more efficient thing to do here is to create that table once, right? Because you don't have to keep making a table over and over. But it's fine to leave it here because you're going.
Why is there an end if here? Where did I move this from? Oh God.
It's the worst thing in the world when you find a marooned brace in your code. Well, you're inside your pollute.
This end if should not be here.
Wait a minute. It came from my example because I had one in my.
Okay,
so
okay, thank God. Okay.
Yeah, you're cool. Yeah, I copied it out of the middle of a bigger example. And
So what you want me to do is move this table to the ones.
I won't worry about it right now. Just leave it. It's fine where
Too
it is.
late. Sorry, too late.
All right, let me see.
So like that, as I move the mist to the ones.
Okay, yeah. So you got. Let's just scroll back up right fast. My YouTube is running a little behind there. I had to just catch it up. So it's only constants in there, right? Yeah, nothing that's variable. Okay, so yeah, it's fine to do that right there then. And init data, you're not. I use that in my examples a lot. You're not using init data for an orb or anything. Double click init data or Control C. There you go. Create mist and create. It's used for create orb. So yeah, change that to mist init data. There you go. That's orb mist right there.
Saving it. I want to compile. 57. An error on line 57.
What did it say was the problem? There's extra parentheses there. Yeah. Hold on a second. No. Hold on. Go back and look at the code. Create mist takes 2 arguments. So that parentheses after the plus needs to be after mist data.
Oh,
you don't need that there. You just need it after mist data.
No, that doesn't make sense because it's not.
Yeah. Mist data is an argument to create.
Okay.
You just need the position and the initialization data. So get unit position chimney plus, that's a vector. Mist data is a table, and then create mist is what you need. So with parentheses, you just need to get rid of those 2 parentheses right there and move them 1 after the mist data.
Like that?
You don't need the inner. There's 1 next to the plus that you don't need. There you go.
Okay. No, Chris, the other init data is for a different structure.
If he's looking at the ones on line 72 and 73, yeah, they're for creating an orb.
Still, I thought I saved it because it closed it. Still complaining about line 50.
What was the complaint?
Did line 57 invalid token? So it's invalid token. Get unit position.
Oh, you misspelled it.
Position.
Position, yeah.
Spelling is also my strong point. Get unit position.
That's it.
Hey, success.
Now,
actually,
wait a second. While you're here, rotate that model to the side so we can see about how high.
There you go.
It's 5. Is the roof is about 5?
Yeah, the chimney, the smokestack is about 9.
Okay, so we have it coming out at a height of 4, I think, right? What did you set it to? I don't even remember.
Yes, I think you're right. So we should set it to 10.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be exactly over that because that little antenna thing on that model is off to the side, but it's going to be close.
Well, okay,
it's okay. Go ahead and see where it is, and then we'll
Yes, I was going to say, let me save this, and then let's drop it down.
So it's going to be offset in the Z by about 1. Yeah, you'll need to add on your chimney variable. You'll need to add 1 to the Z parameter. Yeah, that'll get it pretty close. See, everybody, how much fun this is? You can take the best of the 1960s coding technology and marry it with a 2020 game engine.
Okay. So I've done all of that stuff. I think I've compiled the script. It compiles clean. Now I have a unit. I'm going to update the unit just in case. Oh, God. I forgot this. Why is it 2 workshop?
If you got 2, you must have 2 loaded, 2 script loaded, 2 CPACs loaded. Go to the CPAC manager and top left, you got a workshop, do that little drop down. And does pollution manager create one too? There's a workshop there. Yeah. Go back to units. You have a workshop in the pollution manager. And just nuke him.
I think maybe one of that was a scrubber or something. I've exported. I should remember to save these CPACs at the end of. Now is a good time.
Yeah, you can just you can export now, or you can just save a copy of the map too. It never hurts to.
Pollution manager. You know what doesn't show up is the file dialogues. These beautiful file dialogues you wrote.
That's because there are other windows now. Yeah.
I'm just saving the pollution manager script at the moment, and that's saved. And then I'm going to workshop script and export that. Go to my workshop. Save that.
TMA Nook says he must admit he's not a fan of CRPL. But you're not alone. I'm not a big fan either. I mean, I'd rather have C++.
Yeah, you can tell him that I have written a highlight. I just gave up because I need to wait for you to give me all the commands I can put.
Yeah.
And then I will put it back in. So now I have one workshop. No,
The big,
what did I not do?
well, I mean, this could be a path that's not been well exercised when you delete. Well, okay, have you? Oh, so Pollution Manager doesn't have it. It could be that that display wasn't refreshed after you deleted a unit. I mean, I could totally believe this. If you want to save the map and load it, see if that helps.
Yes.
Yeah, this is one of the many little things that's going to be found in beta testing.
Now I have to be very careful here. Because this thing is going to pollute the other. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Because already pollution on the map.
Yeah, there's a couple of words. Yeah.
We didn't set the color. We didn't set it to rasterize its own output. Go back.
Okay.
And the workshop. I want to see the scripts. Edit that script. Steal it from this code. Should I do a show raster? True. I guess I can do it in anything. Show raster.
All that, it doesn't hurt if you repeatedly call it in different scripts. All that does is pop it up and make it visible. So it's harmless to call show raster true. Yeah, I've looked at other languages and integrating other language engines. The biggest problem with most of them is the persisting their state. It's just a problem. So many of them don't think about that, and they have a bunch of internal tables for variable state and all that sort of stuff. And the work to go through and add that to them is such a monstrously difficult project that I've not undertaken it. Most of them are also designed to provide access to their libraries, right? The libraries that come to the languages, because you know how new programmers are. They're like, oh, I need to learn so and so language, and the experienced programmers are like, well, whatever. It's the syntax. The 30 reserved words aren't your problem. It's the API. It's the platform that you're programming on. And that's where all the work is. Not that you're programming in C# or C++. I mean, of course, each language has its advantages, and there are tricks and syntax. But it's really the API where you spend most of your time, and because you're doing something with the language. So most of the language engines are designed to provide a lot of stuff, and most of them have ways to go in and cherry pick which things you want. Like you don't want file access, but you do want data structures, things like that. RPL sort of happened. It just sort of grew from the smallest thing into a bigger thing. Believe it or not, it sort of grew out of the scheduler in Creep World 2. I said, I'm going to do a scheduler similar to that. And then it occurred to me, I said, well, if I just make a stack available, if I just a stack, you don't need anything other than a stack, then you can do some neat things. You can structure one command after another and do basic things. And then that over the course of 3 or 4 months snowballed out of control in Creep World 3 and became CRPL. And I've kept it since because it is so much a part of the way the game engine works that there's no reason to do any interface libraries or any bridge between a scripting engine and the game. It just is the game. Direct access to the APIs. Everything that it can do is I have to make available. So it provides nothing other than what I make available, so I don't have to worry about people getting access to an API subset that I was unfamiliar with or wasn't aware was there. All right, so what do you have here? You have, what color did you change it to?
Green, I thought.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we're seeing a little bit of red pop up, but we won't see any green unless you get a factory down. Now, if you want to make life easier on yourself, I guess you can pop down a couple shields and give yourself a resource pod loaded up with ARG.
Who uses for shit for no? That's Oh, let me show off the units. Let's show off units before we go far. We show off all the new units. I haven't even seen your new mortar yet. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, the goal of those units is that they look similar to the voxel units, but that they're cleaned up a little bit. So it's still a high contrast, bright color, low poly style, because that's the style of the game. It works well for players to be able to see what they got. So the towers were the first things to get updated, but the towers are so simple anyway. Most folks didn't notice, but instead of a rectangular shaft, they have a hexagonal shaft with a slight taper, and then the thing on the top of the tower is not a perfect cube anymore. It's the texturing's better.
And they have the little lights to show if I'm short on energy.
They do, yeah. They have a little
plane to say that I'm short on energy.
I got a little plane on the top that changes color, and the Rift Lab itself, its beacon light, it changes color based on the energy in how much energy it has in store.
And here's my contribution to the Rift Lab. That's tanks. I made you put that.
The tanks that feed into the pipe. So the cannon has a little piece on the end that recoils a little bit. That's an addition to. It's very small, but there's a little piece that goes in and out. And then the mortar barrel also swivels a little bit and points in the general direction that it's going to shoot. So it's just small stuff. Yeah, the round feet on that look great when you're staring at the model 3 inches away from it and it's huge on your screen, and then by the time they end up sort of in the game, I almost wonder if they're too round. So they may switch to hexagons or octagons or something like that. I think they're dodec, whatever, 12-sided. Is that dodeca or is that 18?
Dodecahedron.
Well,
look at that! Oh my gosh, look at this.
Yeah, there's your mist. Yeah, I think it's probably slightly off.
Little off, but that's
okay. We can figure that out.
Oh, look at the pollution! Look at the pollution! I'm so excited.
Yeah, let's see. Christmas pollution. So that guy, when he pollutes, he's polluting uniformly. Is that right?
Yes, he's evil.
Yeah.
It'll be expensive to get that urn out of him. I'm so excited.
If you see smoke that looks like that coming out of a real factory, then run.
You should know bad things are happening.
Yeah. It was that, wasn't there was it pink or purple that came out of some New Jersey factory a couple years back or something like that?
There we go. Let's see if the cannon can shoot. Mortar. People can see the mortar. Oh my gosh, this is really bad.
Yeah, you're going to need a shield.
I'm not going to have a shield. It's going to just die. When this dies, the show is over. I've showed off everything that we have. This is terrible. Look at this stuff. This guy is not forgiving. And he's not even made a run yet. I should set his parameters a bit back though. Oh, come on, clean up. You made 2 cannons.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to move the lab. I don't think it's gonna get to where, right?
The sprayer has not yet got a new model. That's the next project, I suspect. That
it's coming soon. I'm actually trying to go through the units that are in the demo, so that when I do another demo build, that's sort of the priority, to do all the units that are in the demo first, and then swing around and get all the rest. Because there's actually a lot of units, more than people realize. Purple rain.
Okay, well, that was terrifying and also not very exciting, but okay, I don't know. Anything else?
I guess that's it for now.
I think
Yeah,
that's it.
and the
Thanks,
lab just left, so that's it. Yeah.
thanks for your help. This is fun.
Yeah, yeah, no
And
problem.
this little raster display is going to come in real handy.
Yeah, next up, write Space Invaders or
How can I?
Donkey
Well,
Kong.
wait. Can I get like the alphabet in there?
Yeah, sure. You can make lists that contain any that are any size, and then you can blit a list. So a list can be a flattened array that represents a
So,
um, whatever.
there's a blit command, right? And the blit
There's a
command would
blit.
like if I have an array of characters somehow, I can blit them on there.
Yeah, and I can even put this in there because um, the when you export from the recorder, in the very bottom left corner, it puts a
Oh,
timestamp.
yes.
That timestamp is done using direct texture manipulation. So I have a set of characters 0 through 9, and they get written directly to the texture in the GPU. That's how the timestamp ends up there when you do an
Okay.
export. So same technique. I mean, I could basically provide A through Z and 0 through 9 and a
Hmm.
few other characters.
By the way,
It's,
can you see the models that you've not updated?
yeah, these guys aren't going to. I hate updating these images. I just don't like what I have to do to do it. I've never gotten happy with the workflow, so they don't get updated until I'm done. Because I like to do that update. I'll probably do it once before I do the next demo build, just so people don't log a
Don't.
hundred of the same bugs about it. But
Yes. Yeah.
but yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, and
Oh
thanks
yeah,
to
no problem.
everybody that came to watch this stream. Um, I think that that's going to be the end of this.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye bye.